Some of the girls feel like automatically I have an advantage over them because I'm awesome and, you know, I totally have it going on.
What's good, friends, family? Welcome back to my channel. You already read the title. We are making easy homemade lasagna today. So let's get straight into the ingredients. So these will all be listed out in the description box, so don't feel like you're gonna miss anything. I just wanted to provide a visual. So as you can see, we have some tomato paste, pasta sauce, Italian seasoning, shredded Parmesan. We have our lasagna noodles, salt, garlic, all that fun stuff. So now we're gonna bring a large pot of salted water to a boil. You want to just put in a dash. You'll be able to see it here. And also you want to cook it to al dente, firm, and then according to the package directions. So depending on which package you buy, you're just going to need one package. I know in the beginning I showed 2 packages, but you will only need one, and we're going to be using 12 noodles for this recipe today. So you want to make sure it's boiling, and like I said, follow the directions and cook time on the directions box. And we're also gonna drain them once they're finished. And you also want to put cold water to make them a little firm, shaking out the excess water both times. But you definitely want to add in that cold water after they are drained a bit. A key part to lasagna noodles is making sure that we spray Pam onto whatever surface you're going to lay them on, whether it's a baking sheet, bowl, whatever, because you don't want them to stick together, you guys. They can get very sticky. So now we're going to move on to cutting down our fresh parsley. If you do not have access to fresh parsley, it is okay. But if you do, I would definitely recommend getting the fresh parsley. And we want to cut it down as much as possible. If you do have the dry parsley in your pantry cabinet, spice cabinet, you will be able to see that it's very tiny pieces, and that's what we're trying to get them down to, because we're going to use it for the recipe, the mixing, and also to garnish it at the end. So you definitely want to use that. So now we're going to make the spread. We're going to go ahead and in a separate bowl, you want to add 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese, 1/4 Parmesan cheese. We're going to add our ricotta, our parsley, 1 egg, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So you're going to see me add all of those ingredients in right now. This is going to be our cheese layer. We're going to have the meat sauce. We're going to make that a little bit later in the video, but this is an important part as well, because you want to make sure that you have all of the ingredients added together, because if you miss anything, it probably won't come out the way you want it to. But this is the cheese sauce, and so we're gonna just go ahead and get everything added, everything mixed up, and this will also be broken down by section in the description box as well. Don't worry, it does stir together pretty easily. I know looking at the ingredients you may say, oh, this might be a struggle, but it does stir together really well. How thick you want it and how good you want it stirred together is totally up to you, but I'm just wanted to show you here on where I stopped. So now we're going to begin our meat sauce. I'm adding in some Italian sausage and some ground beef. And then we're going to go ahead and start letting that cook down a bit. As you can see, I'm adding a little bit more than the recipe called for, because I do like a meatier lasagna, but it's totally up to you if you want to follow it directly. I will put the exact measurements in the description box below. We're also going to chop down an onion for this recipe, or this part of the recipe, to add into the mixture, as you can see here. This is 1 full yellow onion. So the one onion that calls for this recipe, you will put that entire thing into the meat sauce. We're gonna go ahead and add our minced garlic as well. This recipe calls for 2 cloves, and then we're gonna go ahead and start letting it cook down, you guys, and it's starting to look good. And we're gonna cook this down. We want to make sure that there's no pink, and we're going to cook this on medium high heat until no pink remains. And then we're going to start draining the fat, and we're on our way, you guys. So as you can see, it is cooked down all as much as we can get it, you know what I'm saying? There's no pink, you know, because I don't like to have pink in anything that I eat. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our pasta sauce. And you want to make sure to pour out all of the pasta sauce, because as you can see, there is a little bit left in the jar. So I had to get a spoon. Sometimes you can flip it over and let it go all the way to the top and then pour the rest out, whatever works for you. But we're also going to go in with 1/4 teaspoon of salt, also 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And then we're gonna also add our tomato paste, our Italian seasoning. So once we've added everything in, we're going to begin stirring, you guys. And you wanna make sure that this is all stirred in together, because after it's stirred in, you wanna go ahead and simmer this uncovered over medium heat for 5 minutes or until slightly thickened. So now we're gonna spread 1 cup of meat sauce in a 9x13 pan or casserole dish. And then we're going to start layering it. So now you can see that I'm adding that first. You always want to make sure to have your meat first. And as much as you want to add is up to you. The recipe does call for a cup. You can do less or more. It's totally up to you. Now we're going to go ahead and top it with 3 lasagna noodles. So that's the next step to layering. It's going to be the meat sauce. Then we're going to add the lasagna noodles, and then we're going to layer it with 1/3 of our cheese mixture with the ricotta, all that stuff. And we're going to go ahead and spread that out on each noodle, and the thickness is totally up to you. I'm someone that likes a little bit more cheese on mine, so you may see me add a lot and you might be like, girl, I don't want all that on my stuff. You don't have to do it like that. It's just how I like my lasagna. If you want to add a thin layer, so as you can see here, you could really stop once you've slid this out across all 3. And if you want to go in with a little bit more, as you'll see me do, you totally can. It's your recipe, it's your meal, and you can make it how you want. So now I've approached the 3rd noodle, and as you can see, you really could stop here, but I decided to add a 2nd layer. You want to do it by layer. You don't want to add too much cheese at once, and then you're trying to scrape it off because you're like, whoa, what did I just do? So you want to do it 1 by 1, and if you find yourself wanting more cheese, go ahead and add it. You don't have to. It's totally up to you and how you want your lasagna to be. But the recipe, as a reminder, does call for 1 cup, but you can add more or less. It's totally up to you. So at this point, we have completed our first layer. After we spread this meat sauce out, that is the layering. So now at this point, you're just repeating steps. So you want to repeat this twice more. You want to finish with 3 noodles topped with the remaining sauce. This is going to be time lapse, so you can see exactly if you want to follow along. If you're like, don't leave me yet, girl, I'm having a hard time. What is next? You can definitely follow along. I'm making sure to include a time lapse in this video so you can continue to see how the layering goes. And so yeah, we're going to get into it right now. So now after we finish layering, you should have 3 noodles topped with the remaining sauce. And now we're gonna go ahead and cover it with foil, and we're gonna bake for 45 minutes on 350. Okay, 45 minutes on 350. All right, we're gonna go ahead and make sure this is completely covered, and we're gonna toss this into, not toss you guys because you don't want to break the dish, but you know what I'm saying. We're gonna put this in the oven. And then after that, we're gonna place it in the oven one more time. So make sure to not turn the oven off. And then after this, we're gonna go ahead, remove it. We're gonna take it out because you wanna look at it. You wanna say, do I need to add a little bit more time? Because like I said, it's gonna go in twice. So after this, as you can see, this is what it looks like right now. After 45 minutes on 350, this is what it's looking like. This is, I mean, we're in a great place. We're in a great place. You can see everything coming together really well. And then next, we are going to remove the foil. I'm gonna sprinkle the remaining mozzarella cheese and the remaining Parmesan cheese, the 1/4 cup of Parm. And then we're going to make sure this is completely covered, and it's gonna melt together really well, you guys. Like this is the pinnacle of lasagna. The top, this is what we're waiting for. So make sure that the cheese is spread out as much as possible. You don't want to have any like holes or spots that don't have cheese on the lasagna on the top. You want to make sure to pour all this stuff in. Use your hand to kind of spread it out as I'm doing here. And then we're gonna put this back in the oven for an additional 15 minutes or until it's brown and bubbly. You can also broil this for 2 to 3 minutes if desired. You wanna make sure it's a little crispy on top. However you want, but for this recipe, for what I did, 15 minutes on 350, and this is what it looks like afterward. So as you can see, the cheese is melted all together. The sides are crispy. Does anybody else like crispy sides of lasagna? Comment below and let me know, because I have to have the crispiness on the side. And we're gonna go ahead and cut into this. We're gonna go ahead. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my goodness, this looks delicious, you guys. Oh my goodness. And we're gonna make sure, I forgot when I first took it out of the oven to put the parsley on top, but you want to make sure to garnish it with parsley, you guys. I did a little, you know, something with the dish, you know, just to give you guys the luxury restaurant experience. And this is what we have for our final. You also want to let it rest for 15 minutes when you're finished before serving. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.